Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. Thank you for stopping by this magical, weird little stream that we put together. My name is Danny. I am the community manager for Roll20, and we are here today to be queer and excitable and just love storytelling with each other. Just so y'all know, this is to promote a awesome bundle that Kage, I think this way on the screen, has put together. So I'll pass the ball over to Kage if you want to talk about the amazing gamer bundle that's happening on Drive Through RPG.
Yeah, so we actually have two bundles that are up right now. They are to help benefit tabletop gamers, which is a nonprofit organization that creates inclusive spaces for TTRPG and other tabletop folks. And you can find those on Drive Through RPG. There's the Prismatic bundle and the Kaleidoscope bundle, and you can get titles such as Wander Home, Thirsty Sword Lesbians, Blue Rose. There's all sorts of really great games in those bundles. So definitely check those out. They're only $24.99 a piece. You get tons of great games, and they support a really great cause.
Awesome.
There's a
Thanks,
link in
Kage.
chat.
Yeah, link in chat. Check it out. But before we hop into things, how rude of me. I introduced myself, but I didn't introduce anybody else. So let's start up at the top. I'm pointing up to Austin. Austin, who are you? And tell us about yourself.
What's up? My name is Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. Uh, what else? I'm an award-winning game designer, writer, performer, and friend. You can find me on the internet at Sailor Scalos, and that's at Sailor SCC Austin.
Awesome. Passing it over to Lexi.
Oh my gosh, yes, my name's Lexi, otherwise known as Black Girl Mage on Twitter and Twitch. I am a professional game master. I'm a lot of things, but mostly I am here to tell a story today as your director.
And Cage.
Hey all, I'm Kage. I use she, hers pronouns. I'm the community relations rep for Roll20 at the drive-through marketplaces. I'm also a streamer, podcaster, and freelance tabletop writer and layout designer.
And Andrew.
Yeah, I'm Andrew Gillis. Use they them pronouns, and I'm a game designer.
Yeah, speaking of game designers, we're actually playing Andrew's game today, Girl by Moonlight. Published by Evil Hat. The campaign went amazingly and it's already funded. But keep in touch with Evil Hat's social media and you'll be able to pre-order if you weren't able to hop on to the project. Otherwise, Lexi, I think we're ready to hop into this magical cyberpunk world that you've created for us.
Yes, oh my gosh. Here is a world that lies on the edge of technology, because in every piece of technology, there's just a tiny, tiny bit of magic. And that's where our story is going to take place today. This cyberpunk world is full of color and light to balance out the grime and darkness. This is a world away from those hard, dark years of anger and resistance, and it still lies in all of your hearts, but all that is left is community, rock and roll and metal, and the activities that entertained the lower classes when stress was so high. So one of those activities happens to be Mega Magical Monster Jam. Across this black landscape and shining neon lights, we see dirt tightly packed into forms that seem unfathomably difficult to backflip over, unfathomably difficult to move across. But that's exactly where we're going to find our players today. As I said, this world, think Tron, think the grid, deep, dark, black reflective surfaces, but also bright pinks and yellows and greens and blues everywhere as well, celebrating the expression of each of our characters. We're going to go ahead and zoom in on one person as they are almost gravity-less as the camera zooms in on them. I would love to zoom in on Andrew, your character. Can you tell me who you are, who you're playing, and where we find you in the middle of this monster jam?
Yeah, so my character's name is Karina, and she is driving a huge monster truck. Gosh, I didn't come up with a monster truck name.
Oh, that's
Uh,
the hardest part
I
too.
think it's called the elevator, and it's got like some super tricked out suspension thing where it can like bounce. Um, and so
Rad.
it's like roaring over some jump, and like her long silver hair is kind of like lifting up in that moment where gravity is kind of kicking in and you're starting to fall down. And she is shouting, screaming, in exhilaration and terror as she comes, crashing down into the trough of this jump.
Absolutely. And you see off in the distance as you're like coming down from this high jump, you see the hundreds of thousands, what could be millions of flashes of to a human eye might be like one LED flickering, but all of the people in this arena with their phones like taking pictures and snapping this amazing magical moment. We're gonna zoom across the arena to someone else who's also performing on top of these monster trucks, kind of racing around, doing backflips, moonwalking, doing these impossible feats. There are small motocross drivers making their way with their light cycles across this arena as well. Cure, can you introduce yourself and who you're playing?
Yeah, I'm Austin, but I am playing Cure. Cure's pronouns are she, they. Yeah, Cure is like on a motorbike, on like a dirt bike, right? Like motocross dirt bike. Yeah, same difference. So fully in safety gear, has like the safety, like the vest on and the helmet. And I think is like hitting a jump behind the elevator is what it was called. Doing like a backflip in the air, like off the bike, and like grabbing it on the way down. So yeah, I think that's where you find me. I don't think you can see much of me in like motocross gear. It is all red.
Yes.
Red bike, red gear. I don't scream or anything. I think if you see my eyes, they're like laser. It looks like I'm not having fun. They're like laser focused, like watching what I'm doing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. As you are riding this dirt bike, the dirt is kicking up behind you and mud is spattering on other people, any of the trucks behind you, but also some of the riders as well. And I think someone who might be relieved in this moment that you were in front of all this mud, kicking it up rather than getting the mud sprayed on you, is going to be Gray. So, Danny, could you introduce yourself and who you're playing?
Yeah, my name is Gray, and pronouns are they, he, and Gray is the cosmetic engineer of this team. And you just kind of see Gray with almost like two digital screens that are popping up on the sidelines of this monster truck motocross race, and they kind of have like these two projections up, and on the left side you see what Cure and Karina are driving, and then on the right side you already see them kind of like designing of like, oh, they took that jump and you couldn't see this detail, so they're like kind of playing around on the screen trying to be like, oh yeah, maybe if I add some flair here, so when Cure does this backflip you can see the underside, and they're just like designing and not even really looking at the race but looking at like how good they look in the race.
You're looking, but you're not watching.
Exactly,
That's what I'm
exactly.
hearing.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Amazing. And to your side, someone who's working along with you, Mixed Razzle. Could you explain what your playbook is, who you're playing, character? Who do we see?
Yeah, so I'll be playing Mixed Razzle, she, her pronouns. I'll be playing the stranger, and likewise, I think that she's not too far from Gray. Similar kind of like setup with like the screens, also looking and not watching, but for a very different reason. I think that she probably has like these like frameless spectacles that aren't really for like to help see, but it's more of like a tech thing. And like if you've seen like the gifs of like all of like the calculations going on, that is like going, you can just see that whirring in her brain, and she's like, okay, if we adjust this, we'll get more airtime on this jump, so that way you can perform this kind of trick later. And as she's like zooming and pinching in on the screens, it's more of calculation rather than cosmetic that she is trying to enhance.
You two are working together in this to support your other teammates. You guys have a little bit of a moment before you see that this is like the beginning of a freestyle round. You already did the race, and actually what I want to do, I want to call for our first roll. In the book there are 4 different kinds of rolls. We have our fortune roll, which is one type that I really wanted to do. I really just wanted to see how the race went for you all. I think it's between you and one other team. So let's see. I wonder, let's have Danny. Danny, could you give me a fortune roll?
A fortune
Just
roll.
a d6. You're just rolling it. Let's see how well it went for you.
Let's go. That's a 6.
On a 6? Okay, so
That's a 6.
you all won the race. It's fairly tight. The race was 6 other groups, but this kind of sport is fairly dangerous. If it was just monster trucks, that's one thing, but it's monster trucks, motocross riders. It's just dangerous. It is down to 2, and you're in the lead by a lot. So that being said, I think your entire team, you have these little communicators that allow you to talk if there's anything you all wanted to say before you get to the final trick. You're in like the last 30 seconds of the round, and you've done pretty well so far.
Greener and Cure, I think y'all are gonna have to pull out maneuver number 15. I know it's a little dangerous, but we're so far in the lead, and I think it makes such a good clip later on to show people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can do that. Please, can you stay off comms unless it's important? I'm trying to focus.
Oh, it's very important because if you can actually
Yeah.
get the underbelly to show, people will see the diamonds that I put underneath.
You put
The bike.
why did you put diamonds on the bike?
Great, I told you not to put diamonds on the bike.
We have a budget. We used it. Anyways, Karina, can you set Cure up for this?
Yeah, Karina's just like, yeah, just make sure you get my good side, and then she just like, shifts gears and
I don't know Karina to
know.
set me up for it. I can do it. I don't need I figured it out. I got it.
Okay,
Figured it
y'all have
out.
fun.
Just as you say have fun, the other team, the 2 other riders, race past you all, going towards the what I'll say is I think that there's a huge ramp. This is the finisher. There's a huge ramp with 6 cars, like these 6 damaged light cars that are all kind of just piled together, and they speed past you. You see 2 familiar faces. You see Onyx, this girl with green hair. Her green hair is like this toxic green, black at the roots, pulled into pigtails. She's got digital kind of scores down her cheeks, which it's not actual scores. It's a tattoo that's like bleeding light, going down her throat and across her arms as she drives the huge monster truck. She turns and she winks at you, Karina, and just says, "Good luck." And behind her, next to you, Cure, is Zhao the Fibermancer. So you see this motocross racer, very broad shoulders, lovely long hair, has a jumpsuit with a very, very deep V, that like covered in mud. You see kind of scars along the chest area, and they like have their phone out. They're literally videotaping what's going on, and they turn to you and they say, "About to smoke this loser," as they look at you and go back to their followers. The 2 of them are just, yeah, what's up?
I have such an important question.
Yes.
Is foul play allowed? Is foul play
You can go magical whenever you want. You can do whatever you want.
No, no,
This
no.
is-
I don't need magic for this. I want to sweep the leg with my bike on this. I want them to like fully like face plant while on their stream. I want
That
to
is
like
amazing.
I want to like rev up, get like wheelie away from them, and like fucking Akira whip my bike like on their front wheel.
Go ahead and give me a flow roll. You're attempting to move with grace. This is kind of dexterous, and it's kind of precise as well. So go ahead and give me a flow roll. Do you have anything in flow?
Only when transcendent.
Okay,
So I will
so
roll
you're rolling
2d6
2.
and take the lower.
Exactly.
I got a 5 and a 4, so 4.
Okay. So with a 4, you are able to actually skid your bike in front of theirs, and you successfully throw them off their bike. I want to know what consequence comes after this. What do you lose in this moment? Are you unable to set up your next trick? This is a success, but you do it with consequence. That's what a 4 and a 5 are.
I think I so here's I think I may not be able to pull off maneuver 13 without I don't think I'll be able to follow this with pull off maneuver 13.
Okay.
I think it is like I can try. I think it's like me, Austin, I would be thinking if Kira can try, but it's like you probably shouldn't try it.
Yes, I think Cure doesn't care about a lot. Like there are people in this arena that care about socials, and this is an embarrassing move for Zhao to have. But in this situation, the thing you care about most is that you said you could do it and you cannot. You probably will not be able to. So as you come up to this ramp, you see Zhao takes that bike falls underneath, and she's going to leap forward, reaching for like the back rail of the monster truck, trying to hold on. And I know I'm not supposed to roll, but I'm gonna roll defy her. I'm gonna roll defy for her. Yeah, maybe not. I'm gonna roll. We'll see what I roll. She reaches out for the back railing of this and lands literally comically face down in the mud, like splats. Entire fully front, just like in the ground. As she looks up and spits out a mouth of mud, her phone covered. And here's what we're gonna do. I think that Onyx is going to move on to do her trick, and we'll see how that goes. But as Karina and Cure move towards their maneuver number 13 and 13X, maybe something, I want you both to try to roll. Go ahead and give me a roll. You can make it whatever you want. You can make it flow. You can make it express if you think you're using your social clout to influence how you do things. Whatever you would like.
I'm gonna do defy.
Defy?
Yeah.
Nice.
Because logistically and logically, I should not be able to pull this off. I don't have the momentum. I slowed down the trip somebody, but I don't know. What if I told physics to kick rocks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just roll
Karina,
flow.
yeah.
I've got 0 dice.
Rad. Let's do it. You got it.
I got a 4.
Nice.
I get a 3, so it doesn't go well for
Hey.
Karina.
No. Okay. So, okay, so you see Onyx ahead of you, and maybe this is something that scares you a little bit. Onyx goes into a like a backflip over this ramp, but accidentally finishes a move that they were trying to get off before this. Finish it the second they launch off the ramp. So they get over the 6th car and land on the other side, but almost hit the ramp in a way that bounces their monster truck back. So you see that failure happen in front of you, even though they kind of made it and they kind of just drive and walk it off. What happens during your trick?
Yeah, so I think Karina was trying to do this like corkscrew thing where you do like a 360 in that axis as you're going over the 6 fallen vehicles, and this mix up with the other racer kind of puts them in her path, and she has to like kind of bail out of it at the last second and ends up landing rather than cleanly on the kind of off ramp of the jump, kind of has to land in amongst the cars and like, you know, crunch over them and crush her way through. So like costs a bunch of time, and you know, it's not as clean as she would have liked.
Absolutely. The trick absolutely doesn't go off the way you want it to, but the crowd still goes wild because they like seeing the cars get crushed. Like it's just fun for that. Cure. So you succeed, but with consequence. So you don't pull off maneuver 13. What do you do? Oh, you're muted.
Maneuver 13, I think, is like you do like a 720 on the bike. And so I think I get like halfway through the spin and realize like there's the mix up with the other driver, there's the mix up with Karina, And I think I'm like, I don't have an LZ because I think the LZ is meant to be like on Karina's truck, which is now
Yeah.
over there.
Mm.
And so I think halfway through the turn, I just like bail off of the bike and do like a 3-point hero landing on the ground.
Amazing. I think go ahead and give me a flow roll as you do this. I think that's a pretty risky move to try to do. I think you're used to it, but it is a little risky.
So I think my consequence is like if the bike is going to
Destroyed.
just fall.
Yeah.
Oh, where did the dice go? Okay. The lower is a 4 again. 4 is the
Okay.
magic number for me. I
4
will
is the
do
magic
things,
number.
but it will hurt.
Yes. So you I think so. I believe that when you fail, you're supposed to be taking stress.
Oh, okay. So I
so
have 2 stress.
Andrew, you can call me out on that. I think that's correct when you fail.
So you can do like harm or something as a consequence, but it could also just be that things go wrong, narratively or whatever. So stress doesn't have to come into it.
Rad.
strictly.
So I'm gonna go ahead and deal some harm because I think that absolutely is kind of where the vibe is going.
Okay.
I think you bail off the bike and it causes you just a little bit of harm. But I believe you have a level 1 harm. So essentially it's just you didn't succeed. It was bad. You feel a little scraped up, you feel a little bruised and battered. But even just standing up after that is something everyone's celebrating.
Sick.
Rad. Gray and Mixed Razzle. What is going through your mind as you see this happen?
I think Mixed Razzle's just like dumbfounded. Just like we planned so hard for this, and I think she's like, kind of like flipping between all these screens, like where did we go wrong, and like this can't be happening, and and is like looking over at Gray like, why did we do the diamonds? Like it's just like still stuck on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
see
think she's just like furiously like trying to figure out where the misstep happened.
Yeah, and Gray has both of those screens have gone away, and you just see one that has like all the social media feeds on it, and is trying to play like retcon, like, oh yeah, we meant to do that, and Cure is working on the acrobatics, and Karina wants some more damage. Don't y'all love the damage? And it's just trying to like get out as many messages as possible, like that was supposed to be what was happening, but it's just like. I said maneuver 13. What was that? Maneuver -3? Like, what the heck are they doing out there?
Go ahead. Can you give me a conceal roll for this social media PR cover up? This is just for me. And also, for Cure, your level of harm, I'm gonna give you the scraped condition. So you were just a little bit banged up. You might not be able to move and defy, or not defy, but flow as much as you normally would.
I'll shake my head. Yes, I know what that means.
Yes.
I'll trust you to tell me when it's coming up again.
For sure.
I rolled a 4 for my conceal.
Okay. So I think that the comments are full of people, like it's a bunch of hearts and likes and people saying the damage. I think you see exactly one person who, just a commenter, they don't even have a profile picture, but this one comment sits with you and says, I know that's fake. And it's just the idea of calling you out, and the comment immediately gets flooded out by the rest of everyone else saying this, but you do know at least someone knows, and the internet is a dangerous place.
That stresses Gray out real bad.
Just a little bit.
That won't come up later.
No, absolutely not. It is the end of the round, so you've completed this, and now you're receiving your score. But as the crowd is cheering, Cure, you are, standing up. You're trying to stand up at least. And Karina, your truck, you made it. You inched away with collectively safe. You notice that Onyx's truck continues driving.
I think maybe Karina will like tail her kind of slowly as if she's doing like a victory lap, but is like keeping an eye on, this is weird and unusual. So yeah, she'll
It
like
is weird. And the
keep
end,
rolling alongside her.
you're at the far end of the arena. It's like they did the jump, landed, and they are just like still going full speed after the jump towards, and the wall is like further out.
Okay, yeah. So then I think Karina will try to just like pull up next to them and like see what's going on.
You don't see anyone in the driver's seat.
That's spooky.
Just a little bit. What would you like to do?
Yeah, so there's a runaway monster truck heading towards a wall / potentially the crowd or whatever. So yeah, Karina will like pull out a little bit and then like really sharply back in to try to like hit and knock over this other monster truck.
Okay, absolutely. Go ahead. Let's say this is defy. Let's say this is
Yeah,
defy.
I think so.
God, I love these. I love that. I love that it's not hard for me to figure it out. It's like good.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and roll that. I do have a die in defy.
Nice.
So I get a 5.
Okay, great. So you speed up and then you said you're gonna just like hard stop in front of them. Brake check.
We'll try to like crash into them at an angle such that I can like roll their truck over.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I'll say you do that. I will say you like bump into them, and there's a moment in the arena before anybody else notices this, where I think the consequence is just that for a second people think that you're trying to still, even though the race is over, you're trying to knock over a competitor, which is a little bit of a social struggle there, but you finally, like, you see the truck start moving. The gas is not being hit, it's just like still kind of going straight forward. You start to teeter it, it knocks over, and on its side wheels, it tips over to the side and starts kind of going in a circle, but the truck has stopped. And you see it literally spin around a little bit and then suddenly slow to a stop. What would you like to do? Everyone at this point can come out if you would like and see.
I get on the comms. Karina, what the hell are you doing?
It was driving on its own. That's weird. And she like jumps out at this into this truck now that's come to a stop. Yeah. She like jumps out of her own and runs over to it to like look in the cockpit and see what's going on.
Gray runs straight to the elevator and sees like the passenger side where they hit the other truck, and already has like spray paint and like detailer, and it's like, what is going on? It's like, can you please take care of our beautiful creatures? Like, why are you running into people? The race is over.
So from the sidelines, can we see like this other team's like pit crew kind of people? Like can Mix Razzle like be like try and see if like their other teammates are like, what the heck is going on? Or are they just gone all of a sudden? Or
yeah, I mean, I don't think this even is a roll. You see everyone halt for a second. Like there is a stillness in the arena. And they don't disappear. They're all also kind of looking. Especially as Zhao kind of comes back and is covered and caked in mud. They kind of are looking ahead, and they're looking at their team, wondering why nobody's focusing on them being covered in mud, and they see this happening. So everyone's kind of confused.
Yeah, I think for like just a moment, like Mix Razzle like kind of stops like fidgeting with all of her screens, and it's just like looking at them like, oh, this ain't good.
So, Kana mentioned the car driving itself. Do I see anything I'm by the ramp. Do I see someone that bailed out of the car? I'm assuming like Onyx bailed out of the car or something. Like, do I see anyone by the ramp?
I don't see anyone.
Can we so I don't even know what's going on. We just won the race and y'all look a mess. We need to get ready for the pictures. So what are we doing standing by this? And points over to this truck that's just laying on its side.
Yeah.
Cure takes their helmet off, and their makeup is flawless. There's not a single thing out of place. They have their hair is in like bantu knots. So like, I look great, first of all.
You do. You look amazing, but you drive a little recklessly.
It's not my fault I kind of messed up to jump.
Yeah, and Karina's like trying to pry open the door of this monster truck, and while she's doing it, she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I screwed it up. We all make
Thank you.
mistakes."
Well, not everyone, but that's okay. We can't all be me. It's fine.
She just kind of snaps, like, "Yeah, well, mere mortals like us cure." She just like shakes her head and kind of
I
shoots
get
you a
it.
look.
Why are you trying to get into the truck? I'm sure Onyx is fine.
Karina,
Onyx, come on.
you open the door as that rings out to you. And when you open the door, you look in and you see on the ground, because this truck is on its side. So fallen out of the driver's seat on the ground, you
Mm.
see a puppet, little rag doll. Just tiny little green hair tied up into pigtails, a beautiful smile.
All right. Well, I would like to do a little gather info roll here. Um, and so I'm going to do this using, I think maybe it's Defy here, where she is just like tearing stuff up and getting in there. So she's going to go down and like grab this doll,
Yeah,
because she's a little bit on edge, and
go
this is all
for
very
it.
strange.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to try to gather some info here.
Yeah.
And cool. So I get a 6. And the question I would like to ask, is how are Onyx and this doll, this puppet, connected?
Mm. There is, as you look at this doll, as you like rip through this car, get down to the ground, like these things are like 12 feet by 12 feet. So you like literally have to drop in. You get
Mhm.
on the ground and pick up this doll. Her voice and just like her mocking you and taunting you plays in your ears. It's still warm and the heart is beating inside of this thing. It feels very fresh and new. That's kind of you aren't sure how they're connected, but something tells you Onyx didn't bail. This is Onyx.
Okay. Well, I get a follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
And so, um, what will I ask? I don't know. Yeah, what? What? No,
What?
That's the question.
I think
What?
I'll
Truly a
table it.
valid question.
I can't think of a good one, but I think Karina has this doll and like has this epiphany, this moment of realization, like shit, this is Onyx, and everyone else can just hear her say in this kind of like hushed, almost a whisper, just like Onyx changed, and then she like climbs out of this truck, back out the side of it, and is holding this creepy puppet thing.
As you're climbing out, Kira's like, yeah, we all change sometimes. We change clothes. We have transformations. I don't like, give us new information, Karina. What are you talking about?
And so yeah, she like her hand sticks up out of the truck holding this doll, and she's like, she changed into this.
Okay.
Okay,
This
this isn't
moment.
normal, but you have to stop acting like it's normal, and we have to get our stuff together right now. Let's like put the doll down. People can take pictures of this. Can we just move off to the side and get out of the eyes of the public or something right now?
And I think like so Mixed Razzle's like still on the sideline. It's just like, what is going on over there? And like is like, great, do something. We need to draw attention away from this, I think.
Yeah, and you just see Greg that's like Gray is like 5 foot tall, by the way, just super short.
Of course, this energy is
Just
so yeah.
and like you see them just kind of like grab the two forearms of the two drivers, and it's just like, come on, let's meet back up with Mixed Razzle. I put that doll away.
Yeah, why do you have, it's probably Sonic's like toy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and Karina just presses it into Gray's like chest, being like, hold this. And you can
You
feel that it's like warm or whatever, right? That it's heart, it has like a heartbeat. So she hands you this thing and just says, no, no, everything is not okay, as she's like walking with you to the next.
And you just hear a calm to Mixed Razzle. We might have a bigger issue at play.
and in that moment, this boop, 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 boop. These bits and like ones and zeros, binary bits and pieces start delaying to you all from a communicator from this hub that you all have called Ink. These bits and bytes start displaying on this screen as people start realizing something's going terribly wrong. The organizers for the event start like making people like escorting people out, but you all get delivered this mission. And it when you read it, it's something along the lines of people have been turning to puppets citywide. We're unsure where the source is from and who's doing it, but over the past hour, random residents of our city, the motherboard, have gone missing. Find the source and get rid of it.
Finally, something fun to do.
Did y'all get that too?
Yeah.
Told you she turned into a puppet. This is directed to Gray. Like, come on, don't be so.
Well, I didn't know what to think. You came out with a puppet, and then you were arguing with Cure, and my paint job is all messed up. I didn't know what to do.
No, it's fine, Gray. You're under a lot of stress.
I'm sorry about the pain.
It's okay. I just want us to look good.
Baby,
So-
we look beautiful. And she like puts an arm around your shoulders, like, no, don't worry about it. Everything's fine, totally. Like she's just trying to smooth it over with you, you know.
I know
Big
we
pop
look
idol energy.
good, but it's like I want us to look good, and like pulls up social media and just like scrolling.
It's also interesting because a lot of the pictures you have the fail video, but then there's a lot of people taking pictures of the different moments, like snapping those moments in time, immortalizing them forever, and they're all good. Like they're mostly all good. It's just the one fail video that is like now getting a lot of views.
You just have to do something even cooler and people will forget about it.
Yeah.
But
So-
we also have this, and it's like dangling this puppet with
Yeah.
a beating heart.
Uh-huh.
Also, I don't want to hold this anymore, and then tosses it over to Mix Razzle.
And she like fumbles it slightly and like catches it and like holds it out like this, like and then I think that like she is going to try to like kind of like investigate it a little bit more to see if there's like okay, so it's like kind of warm, beating heart, looks like this person. Is there anything else that she could like gather from actually like looking at it?
Give me an analyze roll.
Yeah. So this for like position, is that considered control then?
I'd say it's controlled. It's not
Okay.
super risky. It's not desperate.
Ooh, I rolled a 1.
Oh. You geez, worst possible outcome. You start looking at the doll and you feel kind of a shock to your system. And the place where you're holding the doll, you start looking down at your right hand and it seems to be turning to fabric.
I don't think this is good. This isn't good. This isn't. So, like, she immediately drops this doll. Like, this isn't good.
You
just,
all
like, holding on her
hear-
hand.
You all hear, "Stop throwing me around. Gosh."
I catch the doll and I start talking. Are you Onyx?
Yes, get me out of here.
Maybe.
What did I do anything?
Why are you a doll?
I don't know. I just got here. I was driving 1 minute, and then the next it's this. I don't know what this is.
Can you you can hear? Can you see?
No.
Okay, good to know.
You know that you're a doll?
Everyone's been tossing me around like one, and in my mind I was like, what am I, like spilled milk or something? Someone's throwing me around. And now that everyone's just saying I don't want to touch this stupid doll, I don't know. I guess I put 2 and 2 together. I'm sorry. I'm stressed. What's happening? This is weird.
You're a puppet. And that's all really you need to know.
No, I think I need to know way more than that, but like who did this? Why?
we're
don't know.
working on that.
Yeah. Can you move? Can you try to move your like feet or your little feetsies around with those ugly ass shoes?
Woo!
I mean,
Damn.
Onyx looked good, but this doll is
No, you're really right. Onyx is
crusty.
no, you're so true.
It's always
This
good to hear
puppet is
people talk
crusty.
about you. This is I really don't like this. I don't think I can. Just my voice, and I feel like I'm in a box.
Did you go anywhere today besides here?
No, this was all I was prepping for pretty much all week. I mean, there are a few places I normally go by, but not any place unusual.
Yeah, okay, but what are the places, sweetie?
I mean, like everyone, you stop by the Electric Bungalow 2 to get some costumes, and then you go to the garage in order to get your parts and pieces for your mechanics so that they can function well, and then you go to the Orpheum for a quick show, and then you go to the Fire Sprite Gym to fight a little bit, but I'm not good at fighting, so I just watch everyone. Another experience entirely.
Wait.
What?
You watch people fire spray?
Yeah.
You've been there when I'm there?
Yeah.
Why don't you say hi?
I don't know. Because
Here, can you quit flirting with this puppet? What? Where did you go?
Cure Mouse, let me cook.
Later.
It sounds like we have some places to check out, everybody.
I mean, I go to all of them, so I'm sure any of them really, I don't think, I didn't feel weird when I left any of them. So.
It's a weird question, but do you want to be like left here alone? Do you want us to carry you around with us? How are you feeling?
To hear the voice of another person would be great. So yeah, Carrie, I would like to be around you if I could be. Or give me back to my team. I don't know.
How do you like to be carried? Can you tell how we're carrying you? You can feel us when we throw you, and like kind of like pushes the doll over.
It's like shaking a box. Like you put me in a box and you shook me around. Yeah, that was it's a little disorienting, but I can't really tell. So I guess it's dealer's choice.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, Karina's just like, oh, I got you. And she like picks up the puppet and stuffs it into this like not really big enough like shoulder bag that she has. So the head and arms are kind of hanging out.
Love that.
So
Oh
cute.
my gosh. It's like a baby Bjorn.
Yeah, a little bit like
messed
that.
up
Yeah.
little puppet. Okay. She just says, where do we want to go first?
Well, you mentioned the Electric Bungalow for your first stop, so
Electric Bungalow 2, not the
2.
original.
The original
knows
one
where the
closed.
original is.
Can
Yeah,
you
no.
quit doll-splaining to me right now? I know
I'm
what the Electric
sorry.
Bungalow is.
Sorry.
It's okay. Let's go to the Electric Bungalow 2 and like hits the hand of this puppet.
Ow.
And
I didn't feel that. I just wanted to be mean. I just wanted to feel a little joy.
I wish your bag was bigger, Karina. And let's just go see what was going on, because the Onyx that was dressed earlier did not look like this puppet being dressed now. So maybe it has to do with something that she bought there.
Yeah, maybe.
So you described Mixed Razzle's hand was kind of starting to turn into fabric. Did that like revert back, or do I still have like a fabric hand?
Still starting the tips of
I
your
fully
fingers.
missed that. Hello?
Yup.
That's why I dropped the doll.
Yeah, Cure caught it for a bit there, but fully missed that.
Yeah. So I have like fabric fingertips. It's great.
Yeah, handle with care, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Mixed Razzle, how are you feeling about that? I could bedazzle it up for you. Does it feel cool? Can you move it?
I kind of like
Bedazzle
move my
the hand.
fingers like normal still.
Yeah.
Okay.
It feels a little stiff, but it's not, it doesn't hurt.
I'm probably just like sitting there like touching my fingertips with my other hand. Like
yeah.
I would.
They're probably like a little like soft and fabricy.
Mhm. Yeah,
So yeah,
it's
let's
freaky.
Doesn't feel quite right. But I can still move my hand. Here's a question that I think Mixed Razzle would want to know the answer to. Can I still use touch screens?
You try it.
Mm,
You try it
critical.
and it absolutely does not work.
No. Wait,
really
no,
not.
this is tragic. This is not good. This is not
You
good.
have
We gotta
another
change this
hand.
now.
You
I
have a
need
second.
both. I need both cure.
You don't have both right now, babe. So you're gonna have to use one hand at a time, or get really good at your feet.
Let's stop talking about feet and let's just make a pact that nobody actually touch the doll with our hands until we figure out what's going on. And then, Kira, you can do whatever you want.
Why do you say it like that?
Yeah, why did you say it like that?
So let's go to the electric bungalow.
Yeah, so the electric bungalow is your local haunt, Gray. So what I'll say, one, are y'all staying in your mundane forms or are you transforming? What form do the people at the electric bungalow to know you in?
They know me in my mundane form,
Great.
but they know that I buy stuff that usually probably wouldn't do anything in a regular setting. So, I think the electric bungalow, I feel like looks like a thrifty, like a high-end thrift store at the surface level of it.
Mhm.
But the farther you go back, kind of like Bed Bath and Beyond, once you get to like the Beyond area, things start just looking like more raggedy and like run down. So nobody ever really goes towards the back. All the good stuff is up front, and it's very uh bright colors, frills, everything's beaded and stoned, and you see helmets on the wall, you see gloves. I'll probably throw a glove to Mix Razzle and be like, if you want to cover up that weird fabric hand, this might work.
Oh, get one of those touchscreen gloves. Problem fixed. That they use in the winter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I think she's just trying on like a couple different kinds.
And I think we'll go straight towards the back. Like we don't even say hi to whatever robot is working at the counter. We just keep walking straight back until we reach like the back doors. And Gray will just like knock 3 times on the back door.
You get 2 knocks back. What do you do?
I give 2 knocks back,
Then you get 1 knock back. What do you do?
and I give 4 knocks back.
And you hear all down the door. The door
Yeah,
starts
all
to
the different-
unlock. Yeah, every single lock, 8 different locks. Until you see a dear old friend of yours, Chance. You see this very, very tall woman, long, luscious red hair and curls. As she is like half of her outfit is dressed for like a punk rock show, and the other half is like Broadway theater show. She is the owner. And she looks at you and says, Gray, my darling, it is so wonderful to see you.
You look gorgeous as always. Hey, can we come to the back? These are my friends. I promise they won't touch anything. But I have and looks behind, like making sure like there's no other customers. Can we just I need to talk to you about something.
Of course, opens the door. Chance is gonna look at each of you, like up and down, make sure there's nothing. You don't have any like discs or anything that would report where we are, none of those kinds of things. You're not bugged.
Oh, the government doesn't know anything about me, says Karina as she glides in.
I mean, I have a phone, so
Well, if you want that debugged, we can do that for you as well. While you're here, it's a quick process.
I really don't need you to touch my phone. And I walk in.
Amazing. Love that energy. And you look wonderful. What's your name?
Me?
Yes, absolutely.
I think Mix Razzle is literally like, me? Like that's not something that like she often gets as like a response. And so she's like wondering who else is following the group in. I'm Mix Razzle. And she kind of like puts her hand in her pocket that has like the glove on because she's like a little weirded out about her weird fingers still.
I love your style. It is wonderful. It's bombastic. It's revolutionary.
And looks at Gray like, why don't you ever tell me these things?
I do. You just tell me to shut up.
Oh, that's probably true.
Please come in. We're always looking for fashionably forward people such as yourself to, take part here in the Electric Bungalow too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And she kind of like stumbles through the threshold.
Amazing. You all are brought to this back room. It doesn't feel like a criminal underground here, but it definitely doesn't feel like a rooftop cafe. It's like somewhere in between. There are tables of people talking. There's these electric nets, like almost electronic nets over top of their tables. Every once in a while kind of pinging and pulsing just to let you know like why it's so silent in here. They're all having conversations, cannot be heard. And you see that her main table, which is a booth in the corner, has one of these nets as well, like a hex net. And you see she walks up, she types in this flawless passcode, and then it lifts up. She offers you in and says, "Do you want anything to drink? Do you need anything? We've got some, some drinks in the back, but if you need anything else."
No, we're good now. And like nudges Karina. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, and Karina kind of like shifts the bag around so that's in front of her, and there's this
And Mixed
little
Razzle immediately is like, don't
limp-armed
touch it
doll
though.
with the head. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What the bit is that?
I mean, it's a vintage bag you sold me, but the thing inside of it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was worried. I was very worried. I thought I sold it to you, but I wanted to be sure. Um yeah,
This
I'm not
used to be Onyx, and Karina kind of like shakes the bag a bit to make the puppet,
an
just like
Onyx.
this thing.
Onyx, stop shaking me. And immediately Chance is like, "Onyx, dear, is that you?" Like getting close, like down to like a child. where you have her
Don't
in, like, a
touch
baby
them.
Bjorn. Oh, this is so tragic. Who what happened?
That's what we're
We
trying to figure out.
Yeah, we were hoping you would be able to tell us. Onyx told us that they were here getting some new costumes, and I thought of you. And I know some of the stuff in here, I mean, not to be shady, but it's
It's
hit or
very
miss.
shady, yes.
Yeah. It's beautiful but shady. And yeah, we won a race and there was a crash, and Cure did their own thing as normal, and Karina crunched over some cars, and we messed up our monster truck a little bit, but I fixed
Great,
it.
to the point.
Oh, sorry. And a doll. Karina found a doll in the monster truck that we were racing.
The doll's Onyx.
Hey, this is kind of a lot to wrap my head around. Um, I mean, this is a little confusing. I've heard of people going missing around town, but I assumed it was just. I mean, I don't know what I assumed. It didn't really affect me before now, so this is a little surprising. But I wonder if it couldn't have anything to do with the clothes, right?
Well, do you know what you sold then?
I mean, I sold them. They were going to go to a show at the Orpheum tonight, so I sold them this specific. It was a necklace. It was a kind of a very rare object. It was like this beautiful gear necklace, but I don't know. It wasn't being held together by any string. It wasn't being, and it's kind of seemed to defy gravity, defy a lot of things, but she wanted it. And you see that Onyx is like, "Yeah, I do remember that. I did get that necklace. It was very cool. It was like you stretch it apart, there's no string in between it, but then it wraps back around to be like a circle. It's very cool."
That sounds pretty cool. So were there other people who were buying stuff for this party tonight?
Yes, a lot of people come here before a huge show. But
Do you have a list? Like some sale records we could see?
I don't like to keep records. I don't want to give any paper
You don't
trails.
have any records. Not even. How are you doing taxes?
Taxes.
You don't have a. You have like security cam.
The second you say taxes, the entire place, like all of the criminals in this place, like stop and look at you, and then they go back to their.
You gotta do
think-
some kind of taxes. They'll figure you're a human. They'll like you have to. It's a really bad way to connect. At least like a shell business that does some taxes, or they will catch you because it'll be weird if you're an adult human.
Well, it's a costume shop, so there's that. But this was a different purchase. This was outside of the.
Okay,
Because
do you have like a security system?
I can tell you who I got it from, if that's helpful.
Sure.
Yes. Well, it's this new up and coming artist.
So is up and coming artists.
Always. You're right. You're right. They call themselves Locklight. They seem to be making all of these pieces. This was the first piece I've ever been able to get from them, but they make like a limited number of pieces, and it's all from these magically light metal gears. This was the only piece. This was literally the cheapest piece. It was an auction we went to. This was the cheapest piece I could get, and it cost hundreds of thousands of bits. So,
does that name or the description ping anything, or can I roll to see if it pings anything in my brain?
yeah, absolutely. This I think is probably gonna be. I think this is gonna be analyze. Yeah, I think we're leaning towards analyze. Would you prefer analyze or perceive?
I would prefer perceive.
Yeah.
But if you think it's analyzed, that's also fine.
Let's go perceive. Let's just do it for the whatever you got dots in.
That's what I have dots in.
A
5.
Okay. You're a fighter. Specifically, you're a fighter, and you mainly stick around other fighters, and fighters are not very flashy. They try not to be, because the more stuff they have on them, the more can be used against them. But there is one specific fighter at your gym who showed up wearing a gear ring, and they did flaunt this name, this creator. And they told you exactly where you can find, or not exactly where, but you heard like, oh, it's this place behind the Orpheum, a place behind the theater that like this person was selling and doing an auction. I pulled up, I snagged a bunch of pieces, and now I'm gonna sell them, like that kind of vibe. And everyone it was more of like a stupid, like, I'm gonna buy this stuff in order to sell it. And everyone was like, no, don't do that. Like, this is just art. Like, don't do that. But you had heard a passing conversation.
I think I let the group know that I may know another lead to follow up on. So did you get anything else from this shady art person?
This was the only thing I could get. It cost a whole lot of money, and I really didn't have a lot of money to spend. So
That's unfortunate because it sounds like it was a terrible investment.
Yes, of course. It's always got to be cursed. Well, if you need to be led to that place, I'm sure I could have one of my people help you there, where it was at.
Behind the orphanarium or whatever it's called?
The Orpheum, yes.
Yeah. I know how to go behind a building.
Here, do you know where the building is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chance, could you please lead us there?
Of course, of course. Getting in is going to be the hardest part. This creator, Locklight, they essentially were selling their things out of, like, they were having people lift things out of crates, crack open the crates, and they were selling them. It was huge boxes for these little tiny pieces. Not very sustainable in the slightest. But Getting in will probably be the hardest part because obviously only people who work at the Orpheum are allowed to work there or allowed to have access back there. And apparently the rich and powerful flicks her hair a little bit. Not rich anymore because I bought this stupid necklace. But
how rich are you, man?
yeah. My life savings gone. But
I mean, you did sell the necklace, so theoretically you have that money back, right?
this is true, a little bit of it. But outside of this, getting in will be the hardest part, and figuring out which crates, because that's also where they keep all of the concert gear, including random merch for the different bands who play at the Orpheum. So
That makes sense. So you don't offer receipts, so Onyx, you're probably gonna have a hell of a time getting a refund, but you definitely should try. I say to the doll.
in front of the person who sold it.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
I mouth the chance. I'm so sorry. They won't come back here.
She just does a little like heart at you. Okay. So I think y'all are going on your first heist, which is freaking rad. So so you did some investigation. What I'm gonna say, each of you created NPCs before this game, with me. So what I will say is everyone's gonna start off with some links. I think let's have everyone start off with maybe 2 links just to start, because each of you made 2 NPCs for me. And links are spent later on in the game if you come under any harm, which one of you already has. You can basically use links to recover your stress. But yeah, you already have connections with other characters, including other players at this table. So we're gonna start this off with an engagement roll, because this is a heist. We gotta set the tone. So let's go with an engagement roll. Now, why? Hold up. I literally wrote down the page. Let's go. I believe that everyone. Is it everyone does an engagement roll?
We
There we
do
go.
one engagement roll for the group.
Yes,
Yeah.
one engagement roll. Yeah, this is a fortune roll. So similar to what I had Danny roll earlier, this is essentially just to see kind of how this is gonna go. And because whether depending on how it goes, this is how it starts. We will cut into the action and essentially realize, like, as we go, how this mission is going to go. So who would like to do the engagement roll?
I'll do it.
Yeah, go for it.
So how many dice are we rolling here? Because we start with 1,
Yes,
and
we
then
start with
we
1.
add and remove dice based on some
So
requirements.
there's always hope. Yes, so the protagonists start with 1d for every mission. Is this mission particularly heroic or noble? How do we feel?
I mean, it's many people turning into dolls.
Yes.
We're trying to stop people from becoming dolls, correct?
Mhm.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I feel like we're motivated by a very noble calling here.
Great. So you will
two
go ahead
dice.
and take 1 die. Is the mission following through on details from the protagonist investigation? Absolutely.
Yeah, so it gets us to 3.
Does this mission determine the fate of a friend?
Is Onyx
Kind
our
of.
friend?
Is
Well,
Onyx your friend?
Mix Razzle's hand. We need to
I
get
need
that.
my forehand.
It's true. It's true.
True. Okay, go ahead and take a die. Does this mission's tier exceed the current tier investigation? I don't think that's coming to play here. So are there any other elements you want to consider? I think you have a guide and you're going off of the investigation that you just did. So I think that those are the things we're gonna go with. There are some
I
other
will-
halves to this, but I don't think the other halves of these questions, which would subtract die, is does the mission's goal reflect the worst parts of the protagonist? I don't think it does, so you're not going to subtract there. Are the protagonists acting rashly or on very little information? I don't think so. I think you got as much information as you can for a warehouse. Are troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way of this mission? Absolutely not. So you're good. And I think that's it, other than the
Yeah.
mission tier. So
Okay.
how many are you rolling?
Rolling 4 dice,
Rolling 4.
which is a lot, and I got a 6.
Nice. Okay, so with the 6, this mission starts off without a hitch. Only the members of the Orpheum, the backstage workers, the producers, the tech, who all seem to be preparing for a show that's happening. There's always a show every single night, but they're all working on a show. You all are able to kind of blend in and get in. We are going to cut. You are all backs against these huge, gigantic crates that are holding merch. And you see, as workers are walking in front of you, passing by every once in a while, you have made it in, but across from you, you see another huge set of columns, like metallic columns that are holding crates. You've already explored these. These don't have what you need in them. So those are the only other, those are the final culprits of where the stuff could be. So we'll start there.
And they are they like a people? Describe.
Yes.
They're in a metal pillar.
Oh, no. So you see across from you, like metal pillars that are holding like these crates in it that you have to explore. But you do see people walking by, like personnel kind of walking through, carrying things. They seem fairly busy, or they're just like talking to each other, every once in a while.
Does it seem like there's like a pattern to these people's movement, or is it pretty like every once in a while just people just show up and take stuff and move it, or is it like every couple of minutes somebody's come passing through, like more patrolling style?
Go ahead and give me a perceive roll. If anybody wants to help with this, they totally can. You can assist if you would like.
I would help.
Nice. Okay, so you're gonna take 1 stress in order to give Mix Razzle an extra dice. Extra die.
On a 2. I got a 2 and a 1, so I got a 2.
Oof. Okay. So in this
don't have me roll any group dice. So far, this is the highest I've rolled.
Oh my gosh. In this situation, oof, the worst possible outcomes.
So in this situation, I could like incur stress upon myself in order to succeed on the roll, right?
You can push yourself. I don't know if can you do that after the roll has been determined, Andrew?
Oh,
No.
darn.
No, you gotta do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sad. Such a bad outcome. So
2 dice felt so hopeful.
I know, it's almost had it. So what is your worst case scenario for you, Mixed Razzle, as you're looking around watching the patterns of these people walking by?
Yeah, I think it would, especially since she like prides on herself on being able to like pick up patterns, it would be that there is a pattern and she didn't pick up on it. Like, I think that would be like her worst case scenario, is that there was something to perceive here and she couldn't figure it out.
Amazing. So what I will say, I think there's this confidence that you have discerned the pattern, and your party is going to be moving with this false information.
Yeah.
And your high level of confidence about what you've done.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Okay, it seems like they're coming through here every like 90 seconds, like every 3 minutes. And I think I've identified a gap of time where we could at least move to like the next set of crates without being noticed.
And you're sure on this?
I'm absolutely positive.
Great. You know I trust you with everything.
So we're gonna like a lookout?
Do you want to be the lookout? No, we need you.
Okay.
No, we don't need a lookout. We need to stick together.
Okay. Just making sure. We don't want to.
Do we want to leave Onyx as the lookout?
Does someone have like a timer? If we did time it, like you gotta time it, right?
Of course I have a timer in my hands. I'll just sit here, you know. I can time you. I don't know. I can't see.
Yeah, that wouldn't be helpful in the least.
Well, I tried.
Great's like, of course I have a timer, and like flips open one of her many jacket pockets, and it's just like a whole bunch of gadgets. Like, what do you want to time? 3 minutes, 90 seconds, 60 seconds, 30 seconds. Is that good enough?
Sure.
All right. Mixed Razzle, you tell us when to go and we'll follow suit.
Yeah. So when this next person clears this hallway, start the 3-minute one, and we have that much time until the next person shows up.
All right. And person walks through. We start the 3-minute timer.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
try
Away
to
we
make it in.
go. Yeah.
Away we go.
Let's go for it. You start the timer. What do you do? Are you running across? Are you trying to blend in?
Doing the Scooby-Doo shuffle.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we're supposed to have the place to ourselves for 3 minutes. So like Karina just scoots across, like casually kind of jogs over to the next set of crates and just like busts one open right
Okay.
away.
Perfect.
I do the same thing. I tried to be faster than Karina.
So yeah, we're getting into like a crate smashing contest over here, trying to tear through these things.
Amazing. So are you still mundane? Question.
Oh yeah.
Still mundane. How are you like cracking these crates?
I think Karina's just like has found a little pry bar or something, and it's just like I'm imagining like wooden crates nailed together, but if I'm
Yes.
wrong, correct me. And so she's just kind of like popping them open and
I
fishing around inside.
I am so beefy.
Yeah. It's so interesting to think of like beefy on a motocross bike because they're like notably so small, like so small.
It's those like heat.
Love
It's
it.
like the hidden lats. It's like the
Yeah.
like you don't see like people don't understand. Like bikes are really fucking heavy.
Yes.
And require a lot of muscle control, and so it's not a lot of like bicep triceps. It's a lot of like back. So I like go to pop one, and it's like that like where like all the back muscles pop, and you're like, oh.
Like, oh, okay. Perfect. So what I want you all to do, I would love to have you let's see. I think that this is gonna be would you say Andrew, I'm gonna check in with you, Andrew. Would you say that to like crack these open is flow? Or
I mean, yeah, it
defy?
could be. Yeah, especially if we want to do it in like a quick and organized way, it could be about flow for sure.
Let's do it. Let's do flow. Let's see what everyone gets. And also, Gray, what are you doing? Are you standing back by the timer?
I think Gray would be more worried about the timer, but also like not trying to make a mess. So while they're trying to break into these boxes, maybe like moving the scrap wood into an inconspicuous spot.
Nice. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah, so it sounds like we're doing a group action then.
Yes, it
so
does,
everyone's
actually.
pitching in. So I would be happy to lead the group action.
Yeah,
And-
okay.
And so we're all gonna roll flow. And then if any one of us succeeds, then the action succeeds, but I'm gonna take stress for every person that fails.
Ooh.
Are you sure you want me rolling?
Oh yeah, no, get in here, get in.
Absolutely. The more stress, the better.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my roll. What's our position and effect here, Lexi?
I think that this is going to be a desperate. I think this is a little bit desperate. It seems, actually, I think if we're starting off in risky, I do think that this is a little desperate, just because you know that they're going to be coming back, even though you know it's 3 minutes from now. You know they're going to be coming back.
No, that is 3 minutes. From
No,
now.
yes.
What does that do to my roll?
So if you're rolling it, it's position and effect. So I think that's more so for me knowing what happens.
Yeah, position is about how dangerous the thing we're doing is.
Yes.
Like how badly it will go wrong if it goes wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're in a desperate position, meaning things will go bad.
Sick. Don't worry about it.
And a standard effect still, or is the effect change?
I think it's a. Oh, I have to think about that. Oh no. Hold up. Here we go. I don't. Let me. I feel like I literally wrote down what effect I liked for this, and I don't think I have it. Let's just do a standard effect. It'll be fine.
Great. Yeah.
We're just gonna make a choice, every once in a while.
Make sure to mark XP.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Also, I sent a
So
playlist on Roll20. I sent a playlist on Twitch, and it just like kicked in the second that we started doing this, and it's like this dubstep like high energy thing. I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
I need everyone to know I have nothing in flow unless I'm transcendent. So I rolled 2 dice to take the lower. I rolled 2 6s.
Oh
my gosh.
my goodness.
okay.
I rolled a
So-
3.
Love
I
that.
also don't have anything in flow unless I'm transcendent. So I rolled 2 dice and took the lower, and I still got a 4, which I feel like is pretty good compared to the rolls I've been getting.
Nice.
Yeah, so I only take 1 stress thing because only 1 person failed. And the group action succeeds at a 6. Because
Rad.
Austin is amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
Kira knows it. Kira says you're all like Kira pops the lid open and is like, I know, I'm great.
Amazing. So there's this moment where you both crack the tops of these crates off, and you see that you see a bunch of like the paper filler in these crates, kind of wild, and you start digging in them. Gray, you start moving the wood so it's out of the way of the workers. Mixed Razzle, are you near the timer? You're at the timer?
I think Gray had
across
the
the room?
timer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you at right now? Are you back at the other side of
I think
where you
I'm
all
like
started?
near the crates, and I'm trying to determine like which ones would probably be the best ones to like break open next. So I'm directing.
Yes,
Remember, I don't get my
absolutely.
hands dirty, but I do direct.
Yes,
Your
for
hand,
sure.
your singular
Yes, I-
actual hand.
I still have 2 hands. One is just a little soft at the fingertips.
Getting puppety, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's a new era. In my Coraline era. So you all start cracking these crates open. What I will say, Cure and Karina, you both see this among the paper filler, you see these Metal Gear pieces of jewelry. You like pull out these chunks, you toss it to the side, and you finally see Cure in your box. You see 2 rings, and you see a card underneath them. And Karina, you see like a necklace similar to you weren't able to see what Onyx was wearing, but it looks like it. Like there's no string in between it. And they just seem kind of glowing this like bright green, the rings and the necklace, and they all have a card underneath it.
Well, we got to see what's on the card, of course.
Yeah, what do the cards say?
Absolutely. You see that it is just a business card that says Lightlock. And there's something about the Lightlock font, like something about this font that is kind of pricking a little bit of your perception. But before that, what I will say, you succeeded on cracking these open and moving the wood out of the way. 2 to 3 workers start making their way towards you, and they definitely like, it's not even that they heard the boxes, so they aren't aware to your position, where you are, what's going on, but they start walking, and the timer is at like 30 seconds.
We have 30 seconds left. What the? Mixed Razzle?
And like Mix like silently like looks over, and like it's like you can just see the gears turning, and she's like, I don't know. I thought I calculated it perfectly.
Oh, jeez. All right, everybody
What you like
act
to do?
natural.
What does that even mean?
Gray just like strikes a pose back to back with Karina.
In this moment as well, you can absolutely, if there's anything you would like to do, one of the main mechanics of the game, not main mechanics, but one of the cool mechanics of the game is flashback. So if at this moment there's something that you think that you did, you basically will get some stress in exchange for preparing for this moment.
So I had an idea.
Oh,
If-
Yeah.
If someone else wants to jump in, they're welcome to. But yeah, so Karina, first off, importantly, Gray has struck a pose back to back with Karina, and Karina like sweeps back her big kind of rock star hair and like crosses her arms and joins in the pose, obviously. Not gonna leave my homie hanging. But I would like to flash back to the night before, and it's Karina, and maybe Gray is there also kind of acting as my manager, but we're setting up that I'm gonna have a show at the Orpheum tonight in present time.
Amazing. Okay.
And so then we have
I
a good excuse to be here, essentially, is my hope here.
absolutely. I love that, and I think that is very, very cool. I think that this isn't just a simple menial task. And therefore I think that's like a 3 stress situation.
Great.
If you're good with that.
Oh yeah.
So you are actively trying to set up and you see that the admin, like the person, the producer, the person in charge of all of this, you see they're holding out a tablet and they're doing the thing where they're dancing, they're this invisible heads up display, like this invisible HUD. They're kind of typing and looking at you, but their eyes are very glassy and like staring at the screen. They're like, okay, what's the name of the act again? The
It's
talent?
Gigaphonic Diamond.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gigaphonic Diamond. Interesting,
Yeah,
interesting.
I performed here last month. You should remember me. And she like kind of shoots them a look.
Right, and you see that they like tap the side of their forehead, and like the glassiness disappears. They look at you, they're like, "Oh yeah, of course, of course, of course." Tap it again and go back. Um, and you just literally spend the rest of that entire flashback giving them your information. So you take 3 stress, but you see as these people kind of come back in, I almost I almost feel like this is because sometimes you can use an action roll as well. So I think
Yeah,
with
like if I need
that,
to roll for it, I'm happy to do
yeah,
that too.
let's do it. Let's do a conceal. Let's do a conceal roll.
Okay.
Can
You're
I help
probably
out with
going
that?
to
I'm actually going to
absolutely.
use one of my special abilities as an enigma. And I have 2 steps ahead, and it says 2 times permission. You can assist a teammate without spending stress. Um,
Yes.
so it says tell us how you prepared for the situation. So while we get into the back-to-back kind of choreographed pose, Gray is like pulling up on a tablet, like the flyer that we had, the dress, the almost all the information of like these are the receipts, and we also have the name of your bosses, and it's just like ready and waiting to like push this information into these workers' faces.
Amazing. Karina, go ahead and take that assist.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
a
Thank you.
rad power.
And so yeah, like these people are coming in to kind of they're about to catch us red-handed, and instead Karina's trying to flip it and just be like, yeah, so we're here, but like, where's all my stuff? My gear was supposed to be shipped here, and then like I spoke to so and so beforehand, and like my manager has, so she's just like coming on strong with this whole like, you know, rant that she's bringing. Um,
Amazing.
what's my position and effect here, Lexi?
I think that we're gonna do like a standard effect, and we'll do it's or we'll start at risky. Let's do
Okay,
risky because
okay.
it's not fully under control, but
And I get a bonus die.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so I get a 3.
Amazing. Okay, so it still oh wait. It doesn't happen technically.
So it doesn't work out
It
for us.
doesn't
Yeah.
work out. So you see as you're these 3 like the workers are just like I'm sorry. What do you one of the acts and you where's your stuff? And you see that there's a moment where they're like, where is your stuff? They fully believe you. Like, where is your stuff? They look past you though and see Gray standing there without a pose partner,
Uh-oh.
Cure acting completely normal, and Mix Razzle like behind them, like, or not even behind them, but like behind all of this. It is a tableau of like don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious happening right behind you. And they're like, they see the cracked open crates. There's almost a minute of recognition there.
While they start to recognize,
Mm-hmm.
before they can like be like, "What are you doing here?" Call for help or whatever. I want to just drop kick one of them in the chest and be like, "Run!"
In the
like as they're like starting, like as it's setting in of like recognition, I want to like do like I want to disorient enough where they like someone was here, but then they drop kicked us.
Go ahead and roll me a defy. Give me a defy roll.
You got it. 6.
Rad. Okay. So you drop you absolutely drop kick them, and you see there's 3 of them. So which one are you drop kicking? The one that's talking to Karina, or one of the other ones?
I drop kick one like in the like off to the side, so they like I fully like run, and like my plan is like drop kick and shout run, and like as they like look over at me kind of thing. Like I'm gonna like run, like take off down different hallways.
Are you telling your crew to run, or are you telling their crew to run?
I'm telling my crew to run.
Okay. You see with the 6, you see that they look at you, their eyes get really wide. The person who was drop kicked, like absolutely, they did not seem very beefy in the first place. They go down and you just say, oh no. And the rest of the crew, you all can run in your separate directions if you would like.
If nobody picked anything about one of the crates, I'd like to take my gloved hand, scoop up one of the rings and like one of the cards that was in one of these crates before I peace out.
Amazing. You grab the ring and you start running.
Yeah.
Gray, where are you going?
Gray will run towards the doors of where the workers came from.
Okay, Andrew. I heard it, Karina.
So Austin, just checking with you real quick. So you're the outsider and you have a rival. Am I correct in intuiting that I am your rival, that my character is your rival? Yeah, okay. So then I can't just run. That would be terrible. No, so Karina's just like, oh, finally, thank God. And like, I'm gonna transcend. And so when Karina transcends, she turns into Gigaphonic Diamond. This very glamorous, like big hair, kind of, I'm thinking like 80s rock kind of era vibes, kind of look. And I also have this transcendent ability called Powerful Presence that says when I transcend, my scale increases. So she becomes like 50% larger. So she's just this like 8-foot tall, huge glam rock lady suddenly.
Oh my gosh, I'm in love. Okay. So Karina becomes you said Gigamorph Diamond?
Gigaphonic Diamond.
Gigaphonic Diamond. My brain is like, I'm like, oh my god, this is rad. So you absolutely expand and become bigger, and you see these 2 that are left look up at you and they're like, oh, that's not good. And they're gonna turn and one of them's gonna start to run.
Yeah, and I think she echoes what Kier said of run, but it's flipped, right? It's not we need to run, it's you guys should run.
Yeah.
And so yeah, she just says like run, and her voice is like 3 voices speaking at once.
Oh my gosh, go ahead. I think that this is like a express roll, if you will.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me express roll.
Do you think that me being huge is helpful here?
Anything that comes after that, absolutely. Yes, it's helpful.
Okay, so I'm taking great effect then.
Yeah.
Good luck to me because I have 0 dice in this. I get a 2.
A 2. Okay. So what I will say, the 2 turn around and run. Turn around and run. They listen to you, but you don't know exactly how bad this will be for you later as someone who wants to perform here in the future and as someone who was trying to be discreet in this moment. They turn around and run. You 2 are left in here. You see the crates. You know that Mix Razzle has grabbed the ring. What are you 2 doing?
I had it covered. What are you doing?
Well, I thought we were fighting, and she just like looks at you and
No,
like
shrugs. I literally said run.
Like,
what the?
As you turn, I
thought you were
fighting.
talking to them. Like she's just very.
Why would I be talking to? I don't know what the heck that guy is. Why would I be talking to him?
Well, okay. Well, I'm sorry. It's my bad. I'm very sorry.
God,
I screwed it up. And she just like turns around and like kicks some nearby object in frustration, and it just goes like flying off into the other side of the room.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it absolutely does.
Great, Mixed
Blast to the
Razzle.
other side.
Are y'all out of the building yet? Are you fine?
I think if Gray was running towards the door and saw Karina transcend and hear them say run, and the
Mhm.
two were running towards them, I think Gray would also transcend to stop the two
Screaming.
from.
Yes, do it.
So you go. Gray kind of turns around after seeing Karina in this in the magical girl form of this giant woman, and it's like, oh, already we're supposed to whatever. And you just kind of see all the different the lights across Gray's eyes almost turn into like a mask that has one big purple emitting like sparkly light pushing, and it almost like blinds the room, and then it like comes back and you see like this before 5 foot tall kind of nerdy person into this glamour huge, also maybe not 8 foot tall but 6 foot tall, which is pretty tall for a Gray.
Yeah.
And you see this long purple and white hair just like swirling down, and big cape comes down, and you just see like a couple twirls, and I strike a pose and I'm like, gigavogue gravity at your service. And with my now large piece of fabric flowing in the air, I'm trying to stop the two from running away, so that we can talk to them about like who is running this thing, and why are there cursed objects around us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. So in your transcendent, do you have any abilities that could help you with this?
Yeah, so it says I can push myself, and I get a additional benefit where I can perform a superhuman feat of athletics. Um, So I'm
Okay.
literally wrapping these two up in a nice, pretty bow. Nice and pretty. And somehow they look better. Maybe they even have some glam on. And they have like wigs now,
Full
and they're
face.
just full face, full beat,
Yeah.
wrapped up in a nice bow. It's just like looks over at Karina. It's like, uh, you can't just fight, but then have people run. You have to catch them next time.
Yeah, and Karina's just like, "Well, I don't take orders from you."
Yeah.
The reason you don't take you maybe you should, because Cure had the right idea.
Thank
Ugh.
you, Gray. Mixed Razzle, please tell me you got out fine. I say over the comm.
I think Mixed Razzle, like instead of like, because this building is unfamiliar to her, right? So she just found the first room with an open door, shut the door and shut herself inside and like hid behind like a table. And like now that like you're like on the comms and things seem to have like calmed down, is like peeking out the door into like the hallway, like to make sure that it was her team that calmed everything down.
Oh my gosh.
We're so good
Yeah,
at
I'm
this.
good.
Yes. Gosh. Okay, so you all are in this room. What I'll say, we're gonna do a little montage here, and just montage to the point where, like, what questions would you like to ask these two?
Where Lightlock is that Lightlock's
Light lock.
where their dressing room is.
Okay.
That's what I would like to ask.
Amazing.
So I think this might be like, as we like kind of reconvene, this might be a good time for Mixed Razzle to transcend, because I have an ability that's called Deeper Understanding. When you gather
Yes.
info, I gain +1 effect, and when a transcended ally acts on information you provide, they gain 1 link with you.
Amazing.
So like I think that she becomes like partial mecha almost. Like when she transcends, like she just like
I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
like it's just like you know, like when people like control mechas, they get like the metal on their hands to like control it. It's
Yeah.
like that, but there's no like actual external mecha, but it's just like there's all these like components that like kind of appear, and yeah, so that's kind of like her transcendence transformation. Y'all know it's on now.
Yeah. Sure. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I think like it just like what was being communicated, like we want to ask them questions like
Yeah.
where is like this
I think
dressing room, or like how
everyone
can we get that
Yeah, let's
information?
do everyone gets one question. So Gray got one. We'll go to Mixed Razzle. What question would you like?
Um, I think maybe she'll like hold out like the ring and just like a generic like what do you know about like this merch basically.
Amazing. Okay, what do you know about this merch? Karina, you've already transcended, but is there any questions you would like?
Gosh.
If you want to pile on someone else's question too, that's perfectly fine. If we want it doubly answered.
Yeah, I'll just go with what Gray was asking about, like where can we
Amazing.
find Lightlock?
And Cure, are you transcending?
I'm not transcending yet, but I am actually I don't have a question for these two. I'm like they
Okay.
probably don't know Jack. I am keeping I would like a normal gather information roll
Yeah.
because I'm keeping track of that we're still in this building. Other people like I am trying to head on a swivel like what's going on that could be dangerous is the question
Oof.
I want to ask with
Yeah.
my information roll if I get it.
Yeah, so go ahead. That gather information role, I think you're trying to analyze the situation. So go ahead and make that for me.
Roger,
And
Roger.
then let me know what you
I
get.
got a 5.
Okay.
So yeah, I ask, what's the danger no one else sees?
Okay, perfect. So to answer all of these questions all at once, you all hear, and the monster truck jam kind of happened during the day. It is nearing nighttime, which you all can't really tell in a motherboard what day and night is outside of a digital clock that rests above the city as like almost like the sun. It is hitting nighttime, and as you ask what dressing room, they point you to a specific dressing room. It's one at the end. It doesn't have any decoration on it. Doesn't even have a title on it. But they say that that's theirs. What do they know about the merch? They just know that it is secret. They're not supposed to let anyone know that it's there, and that they're not even allowed to touch it. Like it is priceless, and there's only a few of them. And what do you see that nobody else sees? You start to hear the crowd that was waiting outside going wild as someone steps on stage for a show.
I get a follow-up question.
Yes.
Uh, do I guess do I see anything that lets me know who's performing tonight? Did I see any banners or anything like that? Like I know we were like it's us, but do I see like is there like a teleprompter or like a screen somewhere that shows me who's getting on stage?
You see a one of those like little tiny marquee or whatever, like out front, and
Mm-hmm.
someone who is like as people flow in the Orpheum, this huge theater. You see, like you're in the warehouse, so you're kind of like able to look at the building. You see
Mm-hmm.
from the side the Euphoric Six playing tonight.
Okay.
Gray, as you get the dressing room, you walk over to the dressing room, this empty little dingy little place, and you see the doors just open a little tiny bit. There's no one in here.
Is there anything on the dressers, the tables, any remnants of anybody that was in there?
You see a glove. You see one tiny gear, and mm, yeah, you see a glove, a gear, and a shut laptop.
I'm gonna take the glove, push the gear onto the laptop, and then bring it out to the like. I'm not touching the gear. I'm just touching the laptop. But I'm taking the
Yeah.
laptop.
As you take the glove, mixed razzle, you feel that fabric reaching higher up your arm.
I don't like that.
No.
Yeah,
I'm turning into a Muppet in a cyberpunk world. I'm not ready.
too young for this.
Yeah.
Like I think she like pulls off the glove that she has and like is like I'm assuming she can like literally just like watch like this fabric like overtake her hand.
Yeah.
Y'all and just like holds it up like it's like I think it's visibly shaking. Does it like get worse as Gray gets like closer?
It seemed that like Gray interacting with the glove is what caused everything to go a little bit worse.
Oh.
But not getting worse actively.
I think as you turn to tell everyone, Kira is gone.
Bye.
You all now start to hear the act stepping on stage. And this concert roaring up behind you. And Gray, a part of you starts like if you see Mixed Razzle, especially in her like transcended form, as you start you're just like carrying this laptop out and your hands in this glove. You have this feeling of like weight with this glove. It's not just like a cute little like leather glove. It's like you put it on and at first it didn't feel like anything, but now that you've kind of twisted your hand a little bit, feels like heavy.
Can I try to take it off?
Yeah. It does not come off. There does seem to be a little spot for a gear in the back of this glove.
I run over to Karina and I hand Karina the gear and the laptop, and then reach my left hand out. It's like, this might sound a little loopy, but put the gear in.
Yeah, and Karina kind of like tilts her head like, I think this is a good idea.
We
But,
need to do
like,
something. Look at Mixed Razzle's hand.
Yeah, she goes ahead and does it though, despite that. So she takes this gear, very, very tiny in her huge hand and just like carefully, gingerly slots it in.
Got it in, and you see the entire glove turn on. And Cure, you're out on stage seeing a very similar thing happen. The Euphoric Six is this band. It's a full set band, like trumpets, it's electric guitars, it's two drummers, a whole thing, and the singer has a similar parallel glove on their hand. And yeah, go ahead.
When I see the singer raise their hand, I very similarly, I'm going to try and run out and like roundhouse them.
Oh my God. I love that this roundhouse kick is like your signature move. That is so funny.
What do they need from me,
Amazing.
Chief?
So Mixed Razzle. So Karina, who put the glove on? You have the glove on.
Yeah.
Karina has the gear. You put the gear in. It turns almost all the way on. You see these like digital zeros and ones reaching out from each fingertip. But like not just they aren't like staying at your fingertips. It's like not like spider webs. It's like literally leaving this place and exiting through the walls. And as you move your hand around, it's almost like a when you're playing a game where you're trying to like move a pick, or like Angry Birds, where you're trying to move the direction of someone and it has to go through a wall. It's like that as you move your hand up and down and around. It's manipulating, and some part of you is like, "Oh shoot, is this a key? Is this a part of this?"
Is my hand continuing to change as Gray is like doing stuff with this?
It is starting to, yes. You're starting to turn more and more and more.
Take it back out. Take the glove back out.
these bits and bytes they are like strings. Like you do think you could reach up and possibly like cut them.
Yeah, I think Karina tries to just like put a hand in between the gloved hand, like cross the strings essentially with her hand and see
Your
if it
hand
cuts them off.
like chops these connections for just a second. It severs for just a second. Mix razzle, your hand starts to go back, and then it and comes back to the glove, and those strings reappear. And Cura, you're also seeing something similar, but not for too long because you roundhouse kick this person. Go ahead and give me a defy roll. This is going to be a
will.
desperate roll. And I think that this is just a limited effect. I don't think that does anything for you.
No, that's
but-
fine. I'm gonna transcend and whatnot.
Yeah.
I got a 5.
Okay. Perfect. So you run out and you roundhouse kick this person, and they are gonna reach towards you with this gear. You see this as close like a puppet turned human. Like
Mhm.
think like hair almost like Cynthia from the Rugrats,
A
like hair
nightmare.
kind of
Think of
poking out.
think of a nightmare. Okay.
Nightmare. They have the cyberpunk glasses with one lens in, the other one's not there. And they're screaming into the mic when you roundhouse kick them. You hear the feedback as you reach out, and they fall backwards. As Karina brings her hand down and tries to sever this connection. Go ahead and give me. I would say that's a defy roll if you think that that's.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's pretty much how it's going. I think yours is risky over desperate because you're not on the stage. This could be in your own time, so go for it.
Okay. I get a 2.
Woof.
You reach out, you start to slice and sever that connection, and you bring your hand through. It glitches out for a second. You think you've done it, and you now see a connection to your hand. And your hand starting to, in your transcended form, starts to change back to yourself. You get smaller.
I don't like the sound of that. I'm gonna resist that consequence if I may.
Yes, rad. Please do it. So I believe this is going to be a sun roll.
So this is sun. Okay, cool. I'm pretty good at that. Let's see how I do here. I get a 5.
Okay.
So
amazing.
that does fill my stress track, I think, at this
Yes.
point. So I get to roll for eclipse as
Mhm.
well.
Very fun.
So
Eclipse.
let's see if this puts me in eclipse. I guess I just rolled this. So yeah, I get a 3 on my eclipse roll.
Okay.
Or actually, sorry, I get a 1 on my eclipse roll. So I do go into
You
eclipse.
are in eclipse.
I have something for this.
Yes.
My move pathetic.
Oh yeah, okay.
If your rival is about to suffer fatal harm or fall into eclipse, I can choose to protect them regardless of the circumstances.
Amazing. So what do you do to protect your rival?
I am on stage and I start to transcend. And I think my transcendence is like this flame literally starts like traveling up my body. And I get like a cute skirt, I get some like spats underneath it.
Yeah.
Or sports bra and these like wrapped like gloves you would wear for like MMA or boxing.
Yeah.
My name is Giga Flame Aura, and I'm putting this show to an end. And I think what I do is the reaching out with this like glove, and I just like I grab it, and whatever connection was like going between the two gloves, like I transfer it to myself instead.
You take all of the connection. You say that into the mic, and there's this moment where the person who is causing this person you assume is Lightlock, is looking up at you, and as your hand starts to turn, but also you watch their hands start to turn puppet. As Karina, you are I think in this situation you protect, so I will let you have another eclipse roll.
Okay, I can take another shot at
Do
it.
that.
Yeah.
Yes. And oh, I was gonna say I think this protect is an assist, but I don't know if you can assist for an eclipse roll. I think
It's
If
just
someone,
you can choose to protect them regardless of circumstances.
okay, yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
So
So
go ahead and
taking
take that
on,
assist. Take that assist.
okay. I'll give myself a bonus die here.
You got this.
No, I know it. I still rolled a 3. So despite Kira's best efforts, Karina still falls into eclipse, which for the harmony means that I am fractured. A sour note has shattered my harmony, and now there is uncertainty and conflict. And so I think what that looks like is gigaphonic diamond splitting into 2 different people
Yeah.
who are like regular sized.
Oh my gosh.
One of them looks like Karina, but the other looks like this kind of younger, stocky male, masculine figure who's who has a very like punk rock aesthetic, who has
So
like the
garnet.
leather vest with the spikes and the like torn up plaid pants. And the 2 just kind of like tumble out of Diamond's silhouette.
Yeah. Perfect. So you do find yourself not turning into a puppet as Cure. You are puppifying on stage.
mhm.
But you are starting to go ahead and give me a sun roll to resist this if you would like. You don't have
roll.
to be
I
subject to
can.
this.
Well, I don't just a D6.
You don't have to if you don't want to. It is a D6. Count how many pips you have in sun. And that's how many die you're rolling.
Oh,
And
okay.
then essentially, yeah, you don't, it's a whole thing.
I take the biggest number.
So yeah, you keep the biggest die and you suffer 6 minus that result in stress.
Oh, okay. I got a 5.
Okay,
Yeah, so you take 1 stress.
rad.
No
Okay.
problem.
Perfect. So you resist this. It starts pushing down. Karina, what I will say in your forms, actually, let's see, Mixed Razzle and Gray, are there anything you would like to do to finally sever this connection? Karina started the process. What are you doing to sever this connection entirely and destroy this?
I don't think uh Gray in has any like extra equipment.
Yeah.
So if Giga Machina Silver has any sort of like special equipment and or strength that they could assist with, that'd be lovely.
Yeah. So, because could I use like a transcendent ability here as well?
Yeah, do it.
Because I have one that's called Here's One I
throw the thing on
Prepared
the ground. You can do
Earlier.
whatever. Yeah, go for
Once
it.
per transcendence, you may activate a flashback without spending stress to create a device that does one of the following: allow for an escape, reveal unexpected information, or create an opportunity for an ally.
Go
So,
for it.
like,
Which one would you like to do?
So I'm thinking maybe like there's some way that I can create an opportunity for Gray to actually cut the thread with the glove, or maybe yeah, something like that. I'm struggling to think of like what a good like device
What
would
I'll
like look
say,
like.
Mixed Razzle, you are an innovative person, and
Right.
you see how this glove actually works.
Yeah.
Not what it's doing. It's not about the process. It doesn't matter what it's in the process of doing. It's that it is a machine, and you understand machines.
Yeah.
You take out this like little screwdriver you always keep on you. You flip it around into the air. You grab it, and you immediately start going ham. Especially with this.
Okay.
You don't even need the screwdriver. You have like these half mechanical hands.
Yeah.
You start manipulating the machine and like the time and the space around this thing. Gray, you're holding this, and in a second, it blinks in front of you. You realize you're driving this, and so in a couple of seconds, Mixed Razzle, you have a couple of seconds before this thing is absolutely defunct. Like you're about to shut this thing off. Gray, you feel like you have a moment to close and sever this door. What would you like to do?
Yeah, you see Gray kind of pull away from the mechanical actions going off, and you see it just kind of like swoop overhead a few times, and then just he slams his hand on the ground, and you just see it kind of like, at first what I thought was fabric, it almost like shatters into like pieces.
Yeah, it's shatters in front of you. On stage, the same thing happens. This glove, it was on this person's hand. It starts to fall to pieces and shrivel and actually unravel into fabric onto the ground. And the people in this crowd are like, whoa, we're here to see the band. The band has stopped playing entirely. And you see this person reverting to a doll, reverting to a puppet, unraveling to fabric in front of you. And those connections sever entirely. The strings whoosh out of this building across the city, where we'll zoom out from this adventure, notice people in their houses and their homes returning back to their regular forms. It has been another day in the motherboard, this beautiful city of dark, grimy color, and you all have saved the day.
Yay.
That's where we're gonna end this adventure. Oh my gosh.
I
Y'all
loved
are
like the
rad.
screwdriver thing. I don't know why, but I pictured like at the end, like Mixed Razzles like doing like the like the revolver, like flip it around, like blow it
like,
off,
And
you know,
then holster
and then
it,
it's like
yeah.
a bandolier of like tools. She just like shoves it into like a spot. That's great.
and Karina is stuck in Eclipse. More on that later.
Ooh.
Just
I walk
Next
up
time
and just,
on.
I walk in, pathetic.
Pathetic.
so sad. So
Oh.
sad.
Uh,
Yeah, that was Girl by Moonlight. That's so rad. I'm so excited. That was great.
Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by. We'll do some quick outros. We'll go in reverse order of what we started. So, Andrew, if you want to tell the people where they can find you, what you've been working on, and all the good stuff where we can support you.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Commuting Crow or on co-host at Andrew Gillis. And you should check out Girl by Moonlight, my tabletop role-playing game about magical girls, which, yeah, you'll be able to pre-order soon.
Soon, TM.
Yeah.
Kage?
yeah, I'm Kage. You can find me on Twitch using the screen name that's been showing up in chat, or on Twitter, the screen name underneath here somewhere. I actually have a game coming out tomorrow as part of the Drive-Through Pocket Quest game jam. So definitely check that out. It's a solo journaling RPG where you are a space courier traveling intergalactically to deliver parcels. Also, please check out the Gaming with Pride bundles up on Drive-Thru RPG. The link has also been posted in chat. That does end today. So make sure you get in there if you would like to get some sick deals on some really dope RPGs.
Amazing. I think that's me next.
Next.
Yeah, my name's Lexi, otherwise known as Black Girl Mage. I was your director tonight. This is such a fun game, so the only thing I'm gonna say is I mean, Twitter and Twitch are there, but also please go get this game, and whenever you can, pre-order it. Jeez, it's so much fun.
And Austin?
Hey, what's up? My name is Austin Friends with Hideshi. I'm an award-winning game writer, designer, performer, and friend. You can find me on the internet at Sailor Austin. That's at Sailor SCT Austin.
Yay! And I am Danny. You can find me all over the internet at Brutal Dan. I am the community manager for Roll20. Thank y'all so much for coming together and telling this wild story of magic and friendship and weird cyberpunk racing teams that fight cursed puppet dolls. That
Puppet
is
dolls.
something that I never thought I would say, but hey, here we are. I hope everybody has a good weekend. Make sure you check out Girl by Moonlight. Make sure you check out the Gamer Bundle, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.